Hi everyone, Creativity here, and today I'm going to show you some advanced tips and tricks for superstar BTS. Alright, first quick easy tip is to farm Dimple on easy mode. Why? Because Dimple is the shortest song in the game at the moment, and it doesn't matter how long the song is, short or long, you'll still get the same amount of RP on average. Why easy mode? Is because all modes have a chance of getting a single C card as your reward instead of RP. So a single C card is like 1,000 RP worth. So if you get that on easy mode, that feels very good. But on hard mode, it feels bad. So like on hard mode, you want like 1,500 RP or something, but instead you get a C card which is only worth 1,000. Yeah, it just sucks. So always farm on easy mode. Tips on hitting the notes: you want to hit it in the very center of the note. You don't want to hit it like this or like. See, I'm not getting any super perfects and stuff. I'm not even gonna miss there because my horizontal touch is like really bad there. Like here. Yeah, I didn't even touch it there. Vertical timing doesn't actually matter. You can hit like very early and it'll still count it like this. But that's also important too. But it's not as big of a deal. So for those yellow slider notes, you can actually slide it like pretty early and faster, because then you have a less chance of missing it. A lot of people miss those yellow notes. I just slide it a little faster. There's also no penalty in going bazooka, and you don't lose any combos and stuff by just like spam pressing it. So for farming, you can actually just like spam press like all 4 notes at a time while multitasking or something. Like if you have a second phone, you can check Instagram or whatever. That's what I do. So yeah. Oh, obviously always watch the ad if you can, because you only spend like 15 to 30 seconds and you get double the reward you just get. That's pretty much it for that part. There is card rotation, which does matter for score, doesn't matter for farming, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, for now, let's move on to the next part. Alright, now let's move on to trying to get the highest score and managing your card grades and prismatics and stuff. So let's go to our inventory. So the number one thing for scoring high is getting the same theme. So okay, this is theme part 1 right here, and theme is always the most important thing for scoring high, because you get a score bonus and you also get a rave bonus, which is like a multiplier. And common question is it better to have 2 prismatics off theme and mess up your theme, or should you have a bunch, like a regular card like my J-Hope and my Jungkook card here, and it's on theme? Answer is the theme will always be better. A bunch of people on Reddit did the math for it, so you just have to trust them and trust me on this. So always go for theme, and yeah, basically that. So how should we decide a theme? Like, should I do theme part 1 or 2 or 3? I think common sense is to go for the one that has where you have the most prismatics in. So because prismatics give more points than signed and regular cards, or if you don't even have prismatics, just go for an album that has, or I mean a theme that has the most signed cards, because yeah, those are just gonna yield more points in general. A lot of times you get like an R card that's plain and is like theme part 1, but then the rest of your prismatics are like theme part 3. So like in that case, then you can temporarily use your theme part 1 R and just to try to score high, but then your end term goal is to try to get everything on theme part 3. So you just use those R cards or your high grade cards temporarily until you can get a theme that's yeah, 7 cards. Next thing is getting an album grade like this. So this is a little tricky because it does vary per letter, but it's like a GPA basically. So like we have a bunch of A cards here. We have more A cards than B cards, so we get an A grade. Let's see another good example. So we have another A grade here. It's kind of tricky because we have only 3 A's, but we have 4 B's. But for some reason we get a A grade. But if I make this change right here, it becomes B grade. There's some math that has been done by Reddit user Titea or Time or something. So I can link that in the description. But basically that is how it works. Quick tip is when you have a bunch of S cards at 40, you want to have at least 1 R grade card to get an album grade of R. So like let's say my Suga, Jin, Jimin, and Taeyeon are all S cards. It would still be an R grade. But let's say all these 5 right here are S grade cards, then I would only have an album grade of S. Why is album grade so important? Because it affects your rave and your score. So like if I had an S grade album, I would only get 500,000. So let me just look for S grade album. Actually don't know how. Okay, I have an S grade album here, and see I only get like 150,000. Well, actually that's because my theme is off right here. But yeah, like this one's theme part level 3, but it's an A grade, so I only get 150,000. Alright, so next we're gonna talk about how many cards should we keep? Like how many B cards should I keep? How many A cards should I keep? Should I just power them up? What I like to do is I like to keep enough cards for that specific character and theme, so that they can reach R grade. So let's say I have this prismatic Jimin card here. I want to keep as many cards I need to make sure that I have enough to upgrade all of this to R grade, even if it's prismatic or not. So like let me show you. In this case I have, let's see, where's wings? Okay, so I have one B wings card of Jimin, and that's about it for that. But then I also have 2 A cards, actually 3 A cards of Jimin. So like my plan here was that let's say, okay, so I take this and I eventually upgrade Jimin, this prismatic B Jimin, with this Jimin right here, so it becomes an A card. So then we have a total of 4 A cards, including the prismatic Jimin, and then we upgrade these to S cards, and then 2 S cards, and then become an R card. So hopefully that made sense. So like let's if you have a B card, then you want to keep like 8 B cards. But if you have like a B card, an A card, and an S card, you want to have like 1 S card, 1 A card, and 2 B cards, so that when you upgrade them all, it's enough for an R card, because that is like the highest grade you can get, and that'll help you with your scores. So small tip on powering up. I think everybody already knows this, but if you power up using the same character, you get 290 XP, or I mean 10% what you usually get. So like if I just power up Rap Monster using Suga, I only get 264. This doesn't make that much of a difference, but it does help. But so I usually power up using the same character like this. But sometimes like I really need to get an R card of that character. So like let's say I really want Suga here to be an R card, because it's gonna help boost my album grade, boost my score. Then I would probably just use Rap Monster card on it, and yeah, and all the other cards, because like powering up a prismatic to an R is like really good. So boosts the score by a lot. And as you can see, like there's a score here, like that's a level 50, and it's just good in general to just power up grades, and powering up the first 10 levels or first 20 levels because afterwards it gets diminishing returns. So let me just find a quick example. So here I have to use like 1500 XP just to get like one more level, and one more level is just gonna boost this 210 to 211. So that's not really worth it. So that's basically that. So we're gonna discuss about how to spend rhythm points, emeralds, and diamonds. So it's a little tricky, but it's up to the person's discretion, and also depends on the situation whether it's an event or not. But let me just give some like general tips. So you generally want to spend all of your stuff just to get top 5, because I mean not top 5, to get your top 5 albums to a high score, so you can get the weekly league awards. So as you can see, I'm in platinum, so the awards are pretty good, like emeralds and prismatic packs and stuff. So yeah, you don't want to power up like your 6th album or your 7th album until you're sure you can manage like 1st, 2nd, or 3rd place, or whatever you want, because powering up your 6th and 7th best albums is not going to help you with your league. Okay, so now for emeralds, it's pretty difficult actually. You have the choice of getting an emerald pack 1500, which is actually okay because it can give you some sign cards and occasionally a prismatic card. But recently there has been deals that give out a bunch of prismatics for a low price of diamonds. So I'd no longer recommend this unless you powered up, you maxed out everything, and you need sign cards. I think the best option is to get the headphones, because they give more rhythm points than if you bought like than if you like bought rhythm points with. So like here, like let's say I bought 40 headphones, which is the same price as this. 40 headphones can end up netting you like 40 times 750 rhythm points, or 1000 rhythm points if you farm easy mode and you watch ads. So let me just quickly calculate that. 40 times 1000, so you can get like 40,000 rhythm points if you spend the time with the headphones to like farm out easy mode and watch ads. But like I guess if you're too tired, then this is okay. But yeah, so that's with emeralds. Rhythm points, pretty self-explanatory. The only thing you can buy with them is card packs, so always buy the 10 pack and the 20 pack so you can get the guaranteed B card. It doesn't matter that much. So how to spend diamonds? Well, how to get diamonds first. Obviously you can spend money, but a couple of the free diamond offers work here. I wouldn't do the 1 diamond offers unless you have a lot of time. Okay, but how to use them? To use them, you want to save them up for sales. Like here's a sale, but it's not a really good sale because you only get 1 prismatic and it could be off theme. So you want to save your diamonds for like for stuff you can't get with emeralds or rhythm points, because that's just a better idea, because like diamonds should be used on stuff you can't get with the other stuff because they are the most valuable. So you want to get like maybe prismatics or like if you're a collector, then you can get limited edition cards if you really wanted to. But yeah, just don't spend it on like headphones and stuff unless unless it's an event where if you farm like 20 beat maps you get like 1000 RP. But yeah, don't spend it on like rhythm points like right here. Don't do that, because you can just farm rhythm points with emeralds or just like general missions. So that's basically that for that. I'll also link down one of these that I created that it'll show you how much RP and XP and C cards you'll need for like upgrading cards, like from 8 Bs to an R, or maybe 4 Bs and then you have an S card to an R, or some mix of A's, S's, and B's. So I'm gonna put that in the description as well, so check that out. Also, almost forgot to mention, you can use this page right here, which is a stat page by Tea Time, and you can use this to figure out how many C cards you need to power something up, or how much XP or RP required. Yeah, and so you can also figure out how many prismatics and how many signed cards are equal to another. So as you can see here, 2 signed cards are equivalent to a normal card plus a prismatic card. So 2 signed cards is like 1 prismatic card, so you can either choose each album, but I would recommend choosing the prismatic one. So yeah. Alright, the last couple tips are pretty advanced. So what I like to use also to help me is a bunch of stats and stuff that people have created, like right here. So like this is Titea's complete guide for everything. It has like the stats and like how the scores are calculated, like I don't know, like right here, like the score formula for hard mode and stuff. So that does help a little bit. What I like to use most is the shortest song and the most simplest song. This Excel is credit to Tea Time, and so like here I can sort by length, and you can see Dimple is the shortest song, and here's all the other shortest songs for all the other albums. So if you're doing missions, then you want to play these songs because they're a lot shorter than the 2-minute songs than if you played 1 minute 30-second songs. So another one I really like to use that just came out recently is by user Shalista, and this thing here is a card rotation graph, and this looks like really daunting, but basically basically this helps you decide how many times you should play a song and whether your card rotation is good. So you know how in the game the cards rotate, you have 7 cards and they rotate, taking turns taking the score. So like you want to have like your best cards, your ace cards, like maybe your prismatic R's in a certain order so that you get the highest points. So one way to figure that out is you want to look at the card rotation here. So let's say you want to farm Dimple, which is like one of the easiest songs. So like as you can see here, there's a difficulty list by Titea here. You can use these songs. I recommend using these songs for your top score because even if you can hit all the notes in a very hard song, it's easier to hit super perfects in an easier song. So let's say we're using Dimple and we look at this card rotation right here. So you see 3 out of 7. So that means the cards rotate 1 time and then 3 of the cards rotate 2 times. So in this case here, you want to have like your first 3 cards should be your best cards, your R cards, your prismatic R's, your S cards if that is your best card, and the rest are A cards. So you want to have them in the first 3 because they're more responsible for the points you have. So this rotates twice, this rotates twice, this rotates like let me see, yeah, I don't know, let me see, card rotation, sorry. Okay, so this right here rotates a 60%, more than 60% of the time. So these 3 cards, this is 2, this is like 1.6, and this is 1. So you want to have like your best cards right here, and that will help a lot. Now exceptions apply, of course, like when there are a bunch of notes in the song that are crunched up in like one part of the song, and even though it rotates only like maybe like once or something, it gives the most points. So you want to have your best card in that rotation, but there's no data on that for now, so it's a lot easier just to see that your best cards are in like the places where that has the most rotation. So it's generally like the first few cards is usually not the last few, so that's a general rule of thumb. So you can see it rotates 2 in the front and then only 3 in the back, and it's like that for most songs. So yeah, so let me just show you on the actual app. So let's go. So for an example of card rotation, like let's say for Dimple, you want to get it on the first. You want to get your best cards in the first 3 slots. So I just want any of my R cards to be in the first 3. So like, let's say I play Dimple, because yeah, like I know I'm playing it on easy mode, but like if I were really trying to get a high score, I would do it on hard mode. But see, I have 2 R's in the first 2 slots, and that's all good, but I do have an S card in the first slot. So that means whatever score I get here isn't the highest I could possibly get. I could probably get a higher score if I had 3 R cards in the first 3. So in this case, like you can just farm here if you want, but like if I'm in a rush, then I just simply go here and I just redo it until I get a card rotation that matters. This does waste some headphones. For the sake of demonstration though, I'm just going to end that. So I'm just going to keep playing until I get 3 R cards in like the first 3 slots, because those get 2 rotations instead of 1. So here I don't get it again, which well sucks. So I just keep trying, and that's basically what I do for getting the highest league score possible. Obviously super perfects matter a ton, so practice those. But yeah, so here I get 3 R cards in the first 3 slots, so this is probably the highest score I can get. So like my highest score right now is like 4.7 million. So like after this, I would probably get like 4.8 million. That's just my guess. Yeah, so that's a good way to determine if you should keep playing or if your score is the highest you can possibly get. And the thing is, if all your cards are equal, like you have 7 R cards or 7 S cards, then card rotation doesn't really matter because all of them net you the same amount of points. Another thing to mention is some songs have like a bunch of notes like all close together and a bunch of notes in a certain section of a song. That in that case, you want to have like a really high, your best ace card in that place, so it nets the most points. But it does depend on the song, yeah, that even though like sometimes card rotation that might not be like accurate because there are certain parts of the song that have more notes than the other parts of the song, but as a general guideline, you do want to follow the note guides for that. So as you can see, I just hit 4.8 million, which beats my other high score, I think, if I'm correct. Yeah, I just beat my 4.7 million high score. So yeah, because I had 3 R cards in the first 3. So yeah, it does make a difference. It doesn't make a lot of difference, but it does help a lot. Alright, tips on how to 3-star songs or get super perfects. For songs that have a lot of notes, you want to use 4 fingers because it makes your fingers less tired. And then for yellow slider songs with a ton of them, you want to use thumbs because it makes it easier to maneuver your thumbs. In this case, I'm just going to use 4 fingers because I'm on a table and it's kind of hard to use thumbs on a table. So for yellow sliders, you want to, if there are a bunch of yellow sliders, you can actually hold the yellow sliders instead of lifting your finger in between them. So as you can see, like right there, I didn't even lift my index finger on my right index finger. This only works if the yellow notes are really close, because after and if you're constantly moving like a zigzag, if you try to like not lift your finger on multiple yellow slider notes that are in like a line, then it won't count them. So you have to be constantly moving your finger while you hold until the next pair of yellow slider notes. So let me just find an example right here. So see, that doesn't work right there. See that that L thing. But I was holding it right here. There was a yellow note that was coming like this, and then there's another one that was coming like this, and I just let my middle finger stay here. That doesn't work. You have to be constantly moving it in order for it to transfer to the next pair of yellow notes without lifting off your finger. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but yeah. Also, don't ask me why I have 800 headphones. It's because I left the phone in my pocket and it started buying a ton of headphones with my diamonds. So don't put your phone in your pocket while playing Superstar BTS, or it's gonna randomly purchase stuff. Alright, here are some tips to check for snipers and also check for the best player in your league. So okay, tip for checking snipers: you just want to go click on their profile. So let's say this person right here. So if you click on here, it shows that their max score is 5,600,000, and their current score now is only 17 million. But if you just multiply this by 5, it's around 27 million. So they have the potential to score 27 million because this is their best album, and then their other albums probably score around 5 million or a little less than 5.5 million. So that's how to check if they're sniping. This person, I'm not sure if they will, but they could snipe up to 27 million. How to check for the best player: you want to click on everybody's 20 profiles, but for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to click on this one who I know has really high score. So just going to click on their profile, check out their thing, and as you can see, their best score is 6.3 million. And so 6.3 million times 5 is about a little more than 30 million. So they do have a little bit over 30 million, but you also have to factor in the weekly song. So this person, Ali right here, can probably score like maybe 34 million at most. So if you're planning to beat this person, you want to save up to 34 million. So like if I have 6.5 million here, and then I score 6.5 million on 5 songs, and then I do the weekly song and score 4 million on that, then I can hit 34 million. So you just want to check people's high score basically, and that'll determine if you're able to beat them or not. Just easy way usually to tell is just to check if your highest score is higher than their highest scores and if you can beat them in the league.